Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Crafts. Today's video, Swordplay. Now, basically, this is just a quick video on, my version of basic sword construction. It's a very cheap thing that you can do for your cosplays. Admittedly, if you're like me, it's not going to look as great as like an actual sword, but, when you're on a budget, you work with what you got. And, personally, I like the fact that I took the time to make my things, and, the fact that it shows that I took the time to make them. People have actually responded well to it, with my other swords and such, because I've made several attempts. This was actually probably version 1 or 2 of this sword. But yeah. And I've gone from this, with a bit thicker of a hilt, to this. Bit thinner, more katana-like. For those of you who don't know, I am a Zoro cosplayer. Roronoa Zoro of One Piece. And yeah. So I've had my fair share of making swords. For the record, he fights in the Santoryu fighting style, which is 3-sword style. So yeah, I've tried to make a sword 3-4 times, and I think I finally found the version that I like to do, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys. But I'm going to apply it to swordplay in general. So yeah, now that we have that introduction over, let's get on to the basic sword construction. Also, really quick, the supplies that you're going to need for this. Cardboard, duct tape, potentially paint, if you need to do some special detailing, also multicolors of duct tape, classic gray, you can find gold, you can find black. There are a few other colors that you can find in your local Walmart, Kmart, hobby store, whatever. I just want to make you aware of them. That's how I do all my stuff. Also, some kind of knife, for cutting cardboard. Depending on where you get it from, you might need to cut it down into smaller strips. But yeah. So give me a minute, guys. I'll get some stuff together and we can begin. Guys, so first off, like I said, you're going to need cardboard. Now for me, I work at Sam's Club, and occasionally they let me take home some of the slip sheets, which are cardboard. So I'm easily able to make swords. Basically, you're gonna figure out the design of your sword, and cut long strips out of it. Using this sword as the example, basically it's about 2 inches wide that I went with, and I believe about 29 inches long. So basically, break out your ruler, measuring tape, whatever, measure out your 29 inches, mark it with a Sharpie pencil. There's my measuring tape. But, basically just measure something out, like, oh, hey, there's 23 inches. Try and keep it straight, of course, also. Mark it with a Sharpie, like so, and bam, you are good. So that's the first step. Now with mine, I layer it on with at least 3 pieces of cardboard. Trust me, I've learned. 1 piece is going to be very flimsy. 2 is a bit better, but again, like the problem with this sword, this was a 2-piece. The problem ultimately became the fact that it got bent because I had to put it in the trunk of a car for the transport to the convention, so yeah, that kind of effed up the blade. But it feels like 3 is sturdy enough to where like it's not going to bend as easily. So yeah, my suggestion, go with 3. And then if you're going for the katana shape, after you've made your straight pieces, cut, like, mark on your pieces of cardboard, with the Sharpie, like a curved shape. And actually, I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute, so I'll just skip it. But yeah, so give me another minute, guys. I'll cut out some pieces, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, I went ahead quickly. I cut up 3 thin pieces of cardboard. And then, if you are going for, some kind of katana or something, start near the top. Oh wait, crap. Sorry, I missed a step. One of the other things you have to take into consideration when making a sword is the size of the sword hilt. Now, me, I'm about 6'1", 6 foot, 6'1", whatever. So about probably the average height for, a male. And for a two-handed grip, I believe the measurement was about 10 inches. So one of the things you want to figure out is, where do you want your grip to be? Do you want it to be a two-handed sword, a one-handed sword? Do you want your things to be close together, far apart? Some of the stuff you have to take into consideration before you actually proceed to the cutting part. I am so sorry for having not said that first. But yeah, like I said, I'm doing swords. So my basic measurement, was about 23 inches, because when I did the original Zoro swords, I just Googled, what is the average length of a katana. It said online about 23 inches. At OhioCon, my friend Michael had some replica Zoro swords. I asked to see them. I got their measurements. They were actually about 29 inches long. So 6 inches longer than the normal katana. So there's that for reference. And the hilt width was about 1 inch for the hilt, and like the blade was about 3/4 of an inch or so. Although actually with my sword, I just went 2 inches across the board. So if you're doing Zoro, there you go. You have some kind of measurements. 29 inches long, about 10 inches for like the hilt, and yeah. But anyway, if you're doing the katana, well, shit. If you're doing the katana, just draw a curve. You'll cut that off, obviously. Cut that. And that little end piece, and bam, you got the shape of a katana. And I put my sword. Well, bam. See? Removed. You get the idea. Now, also, I would suggest putting on there, roughly the where the hilt is supposed to be, just so you know. Actually, hilt should go first. So, slightly above my hand. And again, you can just draw on this because it's going to be covered in duct tape if you're doing it my way. You can also try the painting route. I have not done it yet. So I don't have a suggestion, of spray paint, acrylic, whatever. If you want to do that, you're going to have to experiment on your own. And sorry for that. Sorry to throw that bit of bad news your way, but yeah. But anyway, so let's just proceed like I've got everything figured out. I've got sword hilt, figured out so I can put my hands properly. I've got the curve of the blade if I want to curve the blade, if I want a straight blade, or if I want other designs, like it comes to a point. Just okay, and try and make it as consistent as you can. But drawing on the cardboard is fine because you're going to cut it eventually and then cut the other two pieces in a similar fashion. It's alright. But anyway, you've got all that figured out. Next step is, if I can find it, duct tape. Basically, just rip off a piece and then just tape. Now again, try and make sure everything's as consistently together as you can make it. That way you're not having like a sword that sticks up like a couple inches in one area. And yeah, so again, I'm gonna use Movie Magic, cut forward, and show you the end result. So okay, and we're back. So again, quickly, there's the blade of the sword. Now, unfortunately, one of the things you're going to see with duct tape is you're going to see some bubbling and such. So what I've done with my other swords, okay, apparently not that sword, but was I would take like a long strip of duct tape, just to run it over. I'll just show you. Fuck it. I've got plenty of duct tape to go around because, well, I got a lot. But yeah, so if you do that, you know, it'll lessen the look of this. I mean, like, if you're far away, you might not be able to see the fact that I've got the individual strips, but if you get up close, like, you can really tell, like, right there's a tape line, right there's a tape line, right there's a tape line. You know, it can throw off the illusion. But yeah, I haven't done anything with the hilt because, well, you know, I haven't decided on the hilt for this one yet. I'm just showing you the basic, you know, make the blade thing. And really, that's about it. Now, in terms of ease to do this, it's very easy. I mean, it took me probably a little bit longer than the shooting of this video, like the whole length of this video, just to make this. Because, I mean, I literally stopped, I cut all the pieces up really quick, and then I turned the camera back on. So probably 10 to 15 minutes just to get the basic thing of, you know, 3 pieces of cardboard together, a sword blade, you know, hilt. Basically, you're just going to have to go based off of, you know, the anime, manga, comic book, whatever you're working on. You know, or if you're doing your own thing, just make it up as you go. Now again, like I said, for me, you know, the cardboard comes easy because of where I work, but for those of you who don't, you know, have that convenience, Walmart, Kmart, etc., you know, they sell their cardboard boxes. You can go to other places, like, I believe, don't quote me on this, but, you know, like Joann Fabrics and such, where they might have more cardboard or foam or something for you to work with. You know, so just keep that in mind as an option if you're going to do this. So then you're not freaking out about, oh no, where do I get cardboard? You know what I mean? You can just do other things too, like shoe boxes, you know, grocery store boxes, whatever. Though, again, I feel pretty lucky to have the slip sheets because they're a bit thicker than a cereal box. God, that would take a lot more pieces. But yeah, so that's basically it for this video. Also, I'd like to note that even though I call this swordplay, I feel like you could easily transfer this idea over to other weapons like axes, potentially spears, but the only thing is, like, spears have rounded shafts, so not so good. Would definitely be good for, you know, weapons like the katanas. If you're doing a Minecraft thing, definitely good for that. You know, this sword is actually going to ultimately become Hicks's sword. Hicks was one of my original cosplay videos. Basically named his sword Tengar Plus. Basically, it looks like just a normal straight sword. Like, literally, the top is just sheared like this, and then just a normal hilt. So, it's going to be very easy for me to make. Now, also, I'm going to try and quickly add on a bit about making a hilt. Not a hilt, scabbard. Sorry. For this because, well, you have a sword, but it's a pain in the butt to carry it around with you all day. So, give me a second to show you what I've got, and yeah, we'll go from there. So, sorry guys, another pause. Okay, so yeah, going back to some of my old swords, this was actually one of the scabbards that I used. Basically, it was just a piece of poster board. You can get these Walmart, Kmart, wherever for about probably up to 99 cents. But the basic idea is, you know, figure out how long your thing is going to be, wrap it around your sword like so, and then just cut off the excess. I got this idea from the Nerf holster video, which I reference in one of my other videos, I can't remember, but I'll put a link to that video also so you can get the general idea on what this is based on. Now the problem with this is it looks kind of boxy, so I mean I wouldn't go with it. I mean, I'm working on a new thing where basically, you know, I'll just take cardboard or tape and just, well, put a piece of cardboard against it and then use duct tape. So like, yeah. A duct tape scabbard, this is going to be interesting. But yeah, so I mean, that. However, this is kind of flimsy, so that's why I'm going to have like cardboard on one side, cardboard on the other, so it'll make it stiff. It's an idea I'm going to toy with, and I'll probably address it in my Zorro video, because, hoo boy, do I have some things to address in that video. So stay tuned for that. I will put that up as soon as I can. And yeah, we'll go from there. But anyway, guys, that's the Valiant Brad way of making swords, axes, and potentially other weapons. You know, maybe even keyblades. I so want to make a keyblade one day, and I feel like that design would not be perfect, but it would work. And that's all that matters to me. So yeah, anyway guys, you know, if you have any thoughts, opinions, comments, questions, whatever, put them in the, you know, box below. If you have any, you know, suggestions or, you know, or things you would like to see me attempt, again, put those below. Yeah, I gotta work on making that statement, apparently. But yeah, that is about all I have got. So, you know, kids, stay safe when playing with swords. You know, have fun. You know, stay nerdy and, you know, get crafty. I'm Valiant Brad, and this has been another episode of Cosplay Crafts. Later.